Oliver, what's the worst scenario if you're using a HELOC? The worst scenario I can imagine using a HELOC would be if you borrowed out most of the HELOC in order to either put it in an investment or pay down another debt. I guess worst case scenario would be you've already paid down your debts, but you borrowed out of it in order to put into a HELOC. Planning to do some dynamic banking with it, or you borrowed out of it and put it into an investment. And you did this planning to do some dynamic banking with it where we do paycheck parking. And so you take all of your paycheck and you put it into the HELOC, offset those interest charges, and then you pay your bills out of that. The worst case scenario would be, for some reason, the bank or the credit union that you have your HELOC with decides to reduce the line of credit that's available to you right after you put that payment in there, right after you put your whole paycheck in there. Because one of the keys to the dynamic banking concept is to be able to withdraw that money and pay your bills with it. So if you just put your money into it and the bank reduces your line of credit, now you can't pay your bills and you're going to be in trouble. So that would be worst case scenario. It's one of the reasons that we say you want to kind of pay attention to the world around you, because banks don't just do that on a whim. They tend to do that, reduce those credit lines if they're having trouble, if there's unrest in the overall market or the overall environment, something that's challenging their books and they're trying to tighten up. If you've been a good lender with them or a good borrower with them, they probably won't be reducing yours first. If you've had some struggles, maybe they will come after yours first. But if not, and they're not going to be coming after you first, there's going to be some signs that it might be happening soon. And, that could be maybe they've decided to stop giving out new home equity lines of credit. Maybe they've stopped advertising for other types of loans, right? I mean, you could build a relationship with one of the loan officers there and just let them know, hey, how are things going? The market might be a little rough right now. You guys still doing okay lending? And maybe they'll be able to let you know if anything is coming up ahead of time. So if we're doing dynamic banking with a line of credit and things do get rocky like that, and you might worry about them closing that up, what would you do? Well, what I would do is I would just borrow out everything from the line of credit. I would take the full amount that I could pull out. If we're in a rocky economic time, I would rather have that money, pay a little bit of extra interest to have that security of having that cash in my pocket, in my savings account where I can get to it, and not tied up in a line of credit that could disappear at any given time. So in my mind, it's always good to have a line of credit available because you're able to tap into the equity of your house if you need it. And they don't cost anything if you're not using it. For most places, they're just simply free. Some places might charge you a yearly fee, but for the most part, they're free. So if you don't need to use it, don't use it. If you do have a plan to use it to help pay off other debts or increase your wealth, utilizing dynamic banking, so much the better. But for me, I would much rather have the ability to access it than not have that ability. I hope you found value in today's video. If you'd like to find out more about IUL and whole life, check out these videos right over here, and we'll see you next time. Now go maximize your cash flow.